Hey everybody, today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to cook up some spaghetti and meat sauce, and we're going to put it into one of my favorite technical gadgets, which is the freeze dryer. So if you notice off to the side there's 4 trays. We're going to be putting all of this spaghetti and meat sauce into those trays, and then I will be putting them into the actual freeze dryer. So let's get to her. So the first thing we need to do is thaw out all of the meat so that we can cook it up and fry it up and toss it into the spaghetti. Now the next thing we need to do obviously is boil some water so we can cook the spaghetti. So here it is starting to boil. All right, so let's open up the tomato sauce and we'll get that all ready. I'm gonna toss some vegetables in with this as well. One of the reasons that I'm showing this whole thing to you is simply because of the freeze dryer. I freeze dry a lot of food because of the fact that I take it out on the trail with me a lot. And the freeze dryer is an amazing little thing. You can make your food so light that you can actually take 2 or 3 weeks worth of food with you. So there's the tomato sauce opened, and in a minute we will start to cook. All right, so let's start adding some spaghetti so we can get the spaghetti actually cooking in the pot, and then we'll be ready to go when the meat sauce and everything is done. Okay, so we got the meat in the pan now, and we're getting ready to cook it all, and it's starting to cook. So now we're gonna make the actual meat sauce and the vegetable sauce. So you can see we got the meat inside the pot. I'm gonna add in some onions. So here comes the onions. Yum, yum, yum. And then we're gonna add in some red peppers as well. Here comes all the red peppers. Yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta love red peppers. That's for sure. As you can see, we can freeze dry pretty much anything. So we can make our meal whatever way we want. So now I'm gonna add in the tomato sauce. So there's the tomato sauce. That looks great. We're gonna take a wooden spoon and we're going to mix it all up so that it's all nicely mixed up inside of here. And then we're gonna put it on the stove. Okay, so there's our tomato sauce on the stove and cooking. This won't take long. You can hear it cooking there and stuff. You can see it looks great. And then we're going to add that all to the spaghetti, and then we'll start putting it into the actual freeze dryer trays and take it downstairs and put it in the freeze dryer. Yeehaw! All right, so the spaghetti sauce is done. Let's dump it in with everything else inside of here. Here we go. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Look at that. That is a great batch. That's for sure. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it all up, and then we should be able to start putting it into the pan. All right, so here we go. We're going to put the spaghetti into the pans now and get it ready for going into the freeze dryer. So what you want to do is just have a couple of stainless steel utensils like I've got here so that you're keeping everything nice and clean, because you always want to make sure that your work surfaces are clean no matter what. Even if you're going on the trail, you don't want your food to be polluted. And what you want to do is you want to spread the spaghetti out so that it comes up to the edge of the tray, so that it's not actually overlapping the tray or anything like that. That way you can be sure that you're actually going to have it sitting nicely inside of the freeze dryer. There we go. We got like 3 meals right on that one tray right there. You can see that we've got it lined out pretty good. I'm going to take a little bit of vegetables and spread them across the top so that we get even meat and vegetables with each of our meals. So I'm going to do that for 4 trays, and then we're going to put it into the freeze dryer. So here it is, folks. This is Big Red. I love this little device. So all you do is you just basically open her up, and you'll see there's 4 shelves inside, and you take your food that you've prepared and you slide it onto each shelf, just like so. And that's what I'm doing right now. So we're going to put all 4 of them in there, push them back. We will turn it on in a second. So we've got 4 nice trays of spaghetti that we're going to take on the trail. You put the cover back on. You don't necessarily have to. And all you do is you close the door, seal it. You'll notice there's a seal that goes on around here, and you press start. And then it'll say, is it liquid or non-liquid? In this case, it's non-liquid. And pre-frozen or not frozen? Not frozen. Close the drain valve, which is over on the side here. Click continue. And now we have to leave it for quite some time. So there's our spaghetti into the actual freeze dryers. So I thought as an extra bonus, I would actually show you my sealing station. This is a great little device. Essentially what happens is after everything has been freeze dried, we take these Mylar bags and we put all of the food inside of them. And then we turn this on so that it's going, and we take an oxygen absorber, which looks like this. You could hear that actually had a seal on the jar just from having them in there. So you take an oxygen absorber that looks like this, you put it inside the bag with the food, just like so. And you got to make sure that you buy food grade stuff. You can't have just anything. So then you take this and you turn this on so that it rings through. You take your bag and you run it through, and it will seal it. It turns out looking like this. And then I actually label each of the bags as to what's inside of them. You can see there's a solid seal. The fun thing about all of this is that this food will last for up to 25 years on the shelf. But the best thing about it is if you took a steak or you took some spaghetti that actually weighs a pound, when you actually finish to freeze dry it, it's like, I don't know, it's like maybe a gram or 2 grams. It's just a very tiny percentage of the weight, which is why I love this thing and which is why I use it out on trail all the time, because it just makes it so much easier. In this video, we're going to rehydrate some of this food, and we're going to do it inside of my BioLite. Okay, so here we are with the BioLite and the final product. Here's the spaghetti with meat sauce. You can see the label on it. Actually, I peeled it off a little bit. So quite nice. I'm going to open it up here for you. And what you're going to see is that the spaghetti and the meat sauce is bone dry. See? It just basically just turns into dust in your hand. It is so light and it is so dry that this is phenomenal on the trail. So there it is inside the package. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my BioLite out of here, and I'm going to heat up a bunch of water, and I'm going to make the actual spaghetti. I'm going to make myself some dinner using the BioLite. Okay, so we're starting up the BioLite, and essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take this water here, and we're going to boil it, and we're just going to add it to the freeze-dried food. This is exactly what I do when I'm on the trail. When I have this in my backpack, and away I go. I can see that the BioLite is starting to fire up, and when it's ready, I will start boiling the water. Okay, so the BioLite is going, and we now have the actual pot on there, so it's actually boiling water soon. And once the water is boiled, I'll show you how it works out when we rehydrate the spaghetti. Okay folks, so the BioLite has done its job and heated everything up, and you'll be able to see, because you can see the steam coming out here. I'm hoping you can see it. I'll spin this around. Steam's coming out. What I do is I actually bring with me one of these little clips because it allows me to clip the bag closed. So I'll show you why I do this, okay? So this is what I do. I will take the lid off, and then I'll take the bag of food in the Mylar bag itself. And this is really handy when you're in like a really rainy spot or windy spot, because all you need to do is just take this and dump some of the water inside the bag like this. And then what I will do is I'll take the bag, I'll take my fork or whatever, I'll smush it all down so that it gets into the water and stuff. And what you do is you fold your bag over like so, so that it's sealed like this. And then I take this little thing and I just basically set it on top of my bowl, and I leave it for 10 minutes to actually rehydrate itself. Okay, so let's see how this all turned out. Here's the spaghetti. Just take it out. I'll take it out of there. I want to show you that the BioLite is still going, as you can see. Here's what it looks like inside the package now. Just beautiful. So we're going to dump it into the bowl. And as you can see, I forgot to take this out, which is why I said that you should always use food grade materials. And there's your spaghetti. Yum, yum, yum. A good thing about this is that it has the same nutritional value as when you made it fresh. So I'm just going to eat this. What I wanted to tell you is that the freeze dryer that I use is made by a company called Harvest Right. I'm not sponsored by them. However, I do have a link below, and if you happen to buy one, I actually get a small commission. Yeah, I want to let you know why I wanted to do this video. One thing to keep in mind, too, is that any of the things I'm showing on here, I'll put links in the actual description below. But the main reason that I wanted to show you all this is because this BioLite, in combination with the freeze dryer, is probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life, quite honestly. It lets me take any of my food that I normally like out on the trail with me. And I can cook up steaks, and I can cook up any type of meal, shepherd's pie, you name it, anything. And I can take it on the trail, and it weighs nothing. And the BioLite actually allows me to heat it all back up, which is like any other camp stove. But why it's called BioLite is because of the fact that it's actually taking the environment into consideration. You don't carry fuel with you, you don't carry any of that stuff. And it also powers everything up. So the freeze dryer, you can't actually take it with you, but unlike a dehydrator, okay, a dehydrator will take out about 70% of the water. A freeze dryer takes out like 99.9% of the water, and it's basically astronaut food. So that's why I love the freeze dryer so much. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you really do, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, click on the little notification bell, whatever you want to do. If you don't want to do any of those, that's fine too, no big deal. I just wanted just to understand what the difference in between a freeze dryer and a dehydrator is. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you in the next one.